Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. How's it going? Hope you all had a great weekend. Just want to start off with the video just to say thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you for everyone who watches the videos and comments. It's really appreciated. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and please give this video a like. It's very much appreciated. But enough of that, let's get into today's video. So today, Monday the 25th of February, we took 0 trades. We didn't take a single trade, mainly due to the fact that today was a really risky day. We had many stocks that made big pops, big moves, and then they just dropped, so they'll pop in and drop in. And really difficult to get in on the trades, get a good setup, and even though they made big moves, as I'll go over in this video, you see they made big moves to the upside and big moves to the downside. So definitely people would have lost a lot of money today, and definitely would have made a lot of money at the same time. It's very sort of the higher ends of the swing. So yeah, let's get into the video. So I said, as you see here, trade, total shares, equity, everything here, closed positions, nothing there. That's the open, that's the close. So yeah, no trades, and I'll show you exactly what I was looking at. The only thing I'm really happy actually, the fact that I didn't take any trades, because it was, like as I said, for me, knowing my skill level right now, being honest and open about my skill level, having my small account, gaining the experience, it was sort of, like I said, really sort of risky day to take it. I'd have to be very aggressive, and it could have just easily have gone either way. So I have to manage that risk. So I'm really happy with that. I did see a few opportunities where I could have placed a trade, but I just didn't. I think it's because time was going on. I thought, well, I've already been here for 45 minutes now, and I've not done anything. Why? The best trades happen within the first 30 seconds, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, even half hour. They are, out of the gates. That is when I place most of my winning trades. Once it gets past that 45 minutes to an hour and I'm not placed a trade, that's definitely warning signs, and that was in my mind today. So just to give you an idea of what was going on in the market, look at PLAG. Not really a lot happening pre-market. Let's go planner mode. Not really a lot happened pre-market. It wasn't on the gap scanners. What's going on here? There we go. And then, as you see, out of nowhere, it makes a bit of a move up, and then bang, it makes this sharp move up and gets halted. This is what it is here. It gets halted. It opened out the gates, and actually, this was an opportunity if I was more aggressive, where it's opened up higher. It sort of, pulled back a little bit, and then it went bang up here. So that was a little opportunity, definitely to get. Not to get into a second halt. We would want to sell before the second halt, but that was a little opportunity. But once again, for me, where's the entry? That people would have jumped in on this. If you have a big cushion, more experience in how halts work, maybe you would have got in. Maybe you're one of these guys to get in early. But I know many people would have got in at here to chasing it because they think it's halting again and it's going to go up. But I just wasn't really feeling it. And the one thing I did notice, and this sort of helped me during the trade, was the volume here. Basically, even then, both them candles, that was the only real volume. It come out of nowhere, big pop, big drop. So no real entry to get in. And really crazy move back. It did have a sort of a second attempt, but once again, on not look at the volume here, nothing, no real great volume apart from maybe on these few candles there. So that happened on PLAG. At the same time, it happened on GLG. They're pretty much right at the same time. And as you see here, nothing really happening. All of a sudden, bang, pops up, makes a crazy move. Oh no, this one that was a crazy move. But it made a decent move from 165 up to $2. It halts once again. When you see this volume coming in, it got alerted on the scanners. This is the volume. We could have maybe tried to get in, but for me, where's the entry? There's no entry really there. Not unless you're chasing the stock. The only real entry I could think of is buying in for the first halt, which isn't too bad. Once again, it opened higher, so that would have been an entry. That's sort of hindsight looking at PLAG and NIST. They both on their first halts. I'm correct in thinking they both. So GLAG opened up higher, and PLAG that opened up higher didn't it on its first halt? Yeah, so there are 2 entries there if you're quick enough, but as I said in my last a few videos back, I'm not really trading halts right now, just because I don't want to be going for these massive drops. I mean, once again, the halt, I am getting a good visual now. I think it's about 5 halts I've seen, and 4 of them have opened up higher and 1 of them's opened up lower. If you get in on the first halt, so that's definitely showing some good promise. So definitely a thing to keep an eye on. But once again, I think this sort of summed up the point of why I'm not getting in halts. And this was just too extended. I wouldn't have gotten this one anyway. But TMSR, this one as bad as the other ones because it actually had some volume, and it's sort of, you see the candles are a lot thicker, moving up and down slightly, but making it, trending up. We've got a break here of the sort of the 240, 250 mark, and then it made a crazy move all the way up here from, let's say, 250 all the way up to $3 exactly. It halts and it opens up lower at 288, and then it drops. Not interested in here once again. Just not looking for the bounce on these sort of stocks, and then it just sold off. So unless you're getting in, so there you would have been. If you bought all 3 halts, done the same strategy there, you'd had 2 winners, 1 loser. It's a little, 66% accuracy. That's quite good. You would have, depending how much money you would have won and lost, depends on how good you scalped the previous 2 stocks and how good you managed risk on this stock. Because I bet you probably would have been down more. You probably would have got 20 cents on each of them stocks, and then here you'd have opened up 20 cents lower. This would have flushed down. You'd be down 40-50%, so you probably break even unless you held for a pop back up. So really risky. So that sort of gives you an idea of what the day was like. Pre-market, there's only really 2 stocks I was looking at, TTMP, but this was very overcrowded. I think it was about 3 million worth of stock. 3 million shares of volume traded. It was making a good move, as you see here. It's sort of 150 all the way up to the 260 mark, but the thing I didn't like about it was the volume, and then it sort of was making pre-market towards the end, just this downtrend. It went from all the way from a high of 260 here, just downtrending, and it's sort of, I think, where did it open up? It popped back up. It wasn't too bad, 240, but I didn't like this move here, and that was the main thing. Stocks I like. What I really like basically is when a stock does this, it makes this move up higher. We get this consolidation, so even if it's like this, and then at the market open, we look for that break up there, up to higher. Wasn't a biggest fan of this one, but I was keeping an eye on it. Out the gates, once again, due to the volume, it made this sort of little break. No, it didn't make a break. Sorry, it made this washout down. I do want stronger stocks. As I said, if we had that better set up, I would have gone for it. But given the fact that it had so much volume pre-market, I just wasn't a fan of it. It did actually work with hindsight. If you bought this second washout, it popped up. You could have, in theory, popped this washout and it popped up, and then you could have just left it after that. So it wasn't it wouldn't have been the worst one. But the reason I wasn't really trading that as well, because I was keeping an eye on CIFS, and this was the one that I really just missed a couple entries on. And this is sort of where I should have pulled the trigger. It's gone back. So CIFS. This was the other one we was looking at. The only thing that was difficult with this one was that this was gapping up. It was a really decent gap up percentage, as we see here, from sort of the 120, and it's gapped up, and it's around the 170 at the market open. But the volume was very light, as you see here. But the one thing that I was looking for, and I said this to myself, but I still didn't do the trade. And this is sort of where I'm a bit more. The only thing I can sort of take away from this video was, it's good that these things work, but I do need to learn to pull the trigger. And this is what I was looking for. It was gap up, this consolidation. We see the market coming in. The volume coming in. This is what I need to keep an eye on, because this didn't have a lot of volume, but it's still gapping up. So the idea is keep an eye on the volume. Is it coming in? And then once we got this break here of 175, that was the break of the pre-market high, basically, or this pivot. We're looking at the next sort of resistance points, which is, illogically speaking, is that $2 mark, which is around there, and not bad, not bad at all. After that, it was just quite a difficult stock. It washed out, wasn't interested here. It's sort of grindy stock. As you see, there's no real solid entries on this. These all candles are 5-10 cent moves. It's just grinding. The only real entry that I saw was once we had these big green candles here. We got this, and we got this big this big sort of doji candle. So that gave me a little bit of doubt, but once again, it weren't too bad because we started to get this support around here, around the 245 mark, 245. Well, you've got the bodies here, and then you've got the touch. When we got this sort of big green, and then we got these two red candles. This is just a little pullback. It's not a washout. I prefer washouts, but we had an opportunity, and this is the only other one. The only other place I was really thinking about taking a trade, but once again, I just wasn't sure on it. And to be honest, I know hindsight it looks good, but it's still risky. It's probably only a 50-50 trade maybe in the long run. But I could have bought here, and this, as what we say, this is sort of the upside of the move. I'd have a tight stop there at 240, which is the bottom of that candle. So 5-cent stop. If it was to come down here, then that would pretty much start to be the backside of the move. But we do have this sort of 1 minute pullback and break of the high here, where we could get this good push up, 30, 40 cents. And that's exactly what it did. But once again, didn't pull the trigger. As you said, it was a difficult day to do that. So I'm not overly bothered that I didn't do it. And then after that, it made, as you said, it made a great move. It popped up to $3, and then once it popped up here at $3, and we've got this big sort of doji candle, this big, what was it, inverted hammer. So this big long wick here. I thought it'd be pretty much the end of the move, and to be honest, I was wrong on this occasion because it flushed all the way down. It sort of started to make this ABCD pattern. Here, as you see, this sort of A, B, C, and then we want the D pattern to, break this sort of resistance and go up higher. It just took a little bit longer, and then it did break, and then it consolidated again. So this is getting rid of a lot of these short sellers today, because all the short sellers would be pining. That's what pretty much these long wicks are, all the selling. But once again, it come here and it broke. And it's gone up to a high of 320. So it's not a massive move, and this was a decent move here, but where's the entry really? You're getting this just battle, this tug of war between shorts and long. Where's the real entry? I mean, you could always say the 1 minute make a new high, but that 1 minute candle made a new high and it didn't go nowhere. That 1 minute candle made a high and it went up a little bit. It would be very, very difficult. I don't mind these type of things. The one thing I've learned about the washouts is I don't want to do as many on the back side of the move. So this is what I do look for, because you can just help manage your risk a lot better. Because normally when you get these big washouts like these candles, it's hard for it to... It's unlikely to do a massive washout. It does happen again. Whereas you could have... a lot of people would buy, for instance, here. Maybe they bought for the break of this candle, because that would have been the higher day. Or actually, even better... let's say they bought here and it went up to 312 and it didn't sell, and then this pops all the way down back to 298, and they're thinking, okay, I'm going to hold and see if hopefully it comes back up, and then next thing you know, bang, it's down again. So that's what I'm just trying to avoid, these big washouts. And a very, very difficult day. Now we see it's consolidating, it may just drop lower. So that was it. No trades. Actually happy in a way that I managed my risk, managed my emotions whilst trading. I wasn't really that emotional, to be honest. I was just sort of waiting for that good setup that I just didn't, in my own eyes, I just didn't really see today. Maybe you guys had a better day. Maybe you guys took the trades. Maybe you're a bit risky and taking some trades. Be interesting to see what you did trade and if you made money or lost money. But yeah, that's today's recap. So once again, thank you everyone for stopping by, and thank you everyone for subscribing and liking these videos. And I'll be back at it tomorrow. Let's hope we place a trade, whether it's red or green. As long as it's a good setup, more than not, it'll be a green. So that's what I'm looking for. And then we'll be back with another recap. So, okay, take care, everyone. Bye-bye.